I'm Lisa Gray, Executive Director with the Simsbury Chamber of Commerce. Welcome to Chamber Chat. I'm here today with Bob Kulakowski, who is owner of Cedar Hill Home Inspection, and Bob is our featured member for the month of July. Welcome, Bob.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you for this honor.
And thank you for joining us today. Appreciate it. So, Bob, tell us, what does a home inspector do?
Home inspector is a generalist view of the condition of the home, generally when you purchase it. So the home inspector goes in and looks at many facets of the home, structure, electrical, plumbing, those types of things, to get an overall general view of the home. If the home inspector sees something that's a little off kilter or not working properly, he usually refers a specialist to go ahead and look at that.
And when do people typically get a home inspection then?
Home inspections are typically purchased when you purchase a home, so you would arrange to have that home inspection before you actually close on that house and move in, to make sure that the home is in good operating order before you go ahead and move in and start to use everything.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes a seller will order a home inspection before they even put their home on the market, right?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. It's a good way for the seller to know what the overall condition is of the home, and if there's anything that maybe should be taken care of before they list their home, that may help that sale go smoother.
So what types of things are you typically looking for when you're inspecting a home?
Generally, we're looking at the structure of the home to make sure that the home is sound and is in operating condition. We're looking at the foundation, the windows, the doors, make sure everything's fitting well. We're looking at the walls to make sure if there's no undue cracks or settling. We're looking at the heating system and the cooling system to make sure that they're operational and producing heat and cooling the way they should. Plumbing system, make sure water comes out of the faucets at a good rate and we're getting good pressure and temperature in the hot and cold. Sometimes you'd be surprised how often they're reversed. Electrical system, we're testing the outlets, we're testing light switches, looking at the fixtures. We open up the electrical panel and we're looking for wiring that may be incorrect, or aluminum wiring, which could be a hazard. Also the overall condition of the electrical items.
So it sounds very thorough. So how long does that usually take?
We generally take anywhere from 2.5 to 3.5 hours, depending on the condition of the home and the size of the home. Smaller homes, obviously, less time. But about that amount of time, figure about a 3-hour average.
Okay, and is radon detection included in that, or is that something
radon
additional?
Radon is not an item that goes with the standard home inspection. It is a service that we offer. That radon is an odorless, colorless gas that we do recommend testing for. It is prevalent in this area, in certain parts of town, etc. That without testing, you would never know it's present, and it is the second leading cause of lung cancer in the United States.
So that's why it's important to know if it is on your property,
right.
Yeah, because I would imagine it could affect the sale of your home if it is present and it's not being mitigated.
If it's not mitigated, it could be a health hazard. It's easily mitigated in today's environment with the technology that's out there that they have to take that radon out of your home.
So where does radon come from?
Radon comes from the geology under the home. It works up through the soil. It's what they call a decay product. It's a gas that works up its way through the home and then gets trapped in your home, and that's where it starts to build up. It is present around us, naturally, but with open air, it just disappears and goes away. But with your home, it kind of acts like a bubble and holds it in place.
Right. So you said if it is present, it can be abated. There is a process. So what kind of a process is
the
that?
process, generally, it's called under slab depressurization, big word for a fan that draws the air out from underneath the slab of your home and dissipates that air in the atmosphere where it's naturally occurring.
Okay, gotcha. So are home inspections required in the selling process of a property?
They are not. It's purely up to the buyer that if they choose to get a home inspection or not. There is no requirement for it. It's obviously recommended to go and do those inspections to see things that you may not be familiar with, or that that may be kind of not visible to someone that's untrained to look at those types of things.
Okay. So if you find an issue with a property and the property owner wants to correct it, do you have contractors that you work with that you recommend to a home owner?
The home inspections are governed under the standards of practice for home inspection in the state of Connecticut, and in those standards of practice, the Code of Ethics states that we can't refer a specific contractor for a specific thing we find in a home that we inspect. For the simple reason is in the past, maybe some unscrupulous people would find things and refer their friends, and there would be a lot of unnecessary work going on.
Right.
So they've divorced that. I always recommend that clients, look at the chamber website, check the chamber members. There's a myriad of contractors in there that could generally take care of almost any issue that you would have with your home.
Well, thank you. We appreciate that. So what type of training do you have that qualifies you to be a home inspector?
The training is two-phase. It starts off with classroom training, which can be either online or in a classroom setting. Mine was a classroom setting, 40 hours, approved by the state of Connecticut for this. Then after you graduate that with a passing grade, you have to have 100 supervised inspections by a licensed home inspector. He goes through, you do those inspections with him, and at a certain point you go out on your own, and then he reviews your reports. Those all get compiled. After 100, you submit those to the state to say that you've done those. You sit for a test, and you take that test with a passing grade. You can become a licensed home inspector in the state of Connecticut.
Okay, now what about commercial inspections? Do those differ from home inspections, I would imagine?
They do in many aspects. Commercial inspections are not governed by the state of Connecticut. They're kind of open, Wild West kind of thing, if you want to think of it like that. There are a couple of standards out there for completing those inspections, one of them being the American Society of Test and Measurement, or ASTM. Those standards dictate how that inspection should take place. There's a lot more complexity to a commercial inspection. Structure, electrical is much different than a residential home. Plumbing is pretty much the same, but roofing and things like that are much, much different, where the commercial building inspector may bring in some consultants to work with that are specialized in those areas.
And I would imagine commercial inspection is another service that you offer?
Yes, we offer commercial inspections as well as residential inspections.
And so what other type of services do you offer?
We offer the radon testing, as we spoke of earlier. We also offer electronic thermal imaging, which is a measurement of surface temperatures. Generally, you hear it, IR or infrared, sometimes on the TV shows about finding things. You're able to find usually water leaks and air leakage and stuff like that. It's used a lot in the home energy audit market. We also do well water testing and well testing.
And how many years have you been doing this, Bob?
This is our 11th year. We established in 2004.
Okay.
Yeah.
And have you ever found anything that really surprised you in all that time?
Yes.
Anything you can share with us?
I did an inspection on a home that was built in 1812. When I was in the basement doing the basement inspection, I actually found the stump of a tree that I couldn't even, if I tried to put my arms around, I couldn't.
Oh my gosh.
And the home was built around that tree.
Wow.
And well cut down, and then they might have used some of the wood from that tree in that home. It used to be a bed and breakfast. It no longer is, but quite an interesting.
That is interesting.
Interesting inspection.
I wonder how often that happened. Probably was pretty
probably more
unusual.
than you would expect.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So.
Interesting. So, besides the Simsbury Chamber of Commerce, are there any other organizations that you belong to?
Yes, we are members of the American Society of Home Inspectors, or ASHI. It's a national organization. To belong to that organization and become certified by them, they do an extensive review on your reports. You have to submit to them at least 300 reports for them to review, and they sample out of that to see if you meet their standards. And you also have to sit for a national test to become an ASHI member and pass that test. I'm also a member of the Connecticut Association of Home Inspectors, which is the Connecticut arm of home inspections, and most of the home inspectors in Connecticut belong to that.
Okay, great. Well, thank you very much. It's been very informative. Do you have anything else you'd like to add today?
Well, one of the things that I'd add is, if you think about purchasing a home, go out and start doing interviews with all the people you're planning on using, your realtor, your lawyer, your home inspector. If you're thinking about purchasing a home, once that process starts, once you purchase that home, go ahead and, things go fast. And you tend to just hire the first person who answers the phone. And that may or may not be a good process. What I strongly recommend is if you're thinking of purchasing a home or you're getting into that mode, start calling around, speak to home inspectors, get a list from your realtor or the chamber website, or ask around. There's plenty of places to find out where home inspectors are, the ASHI website, the CAHI website. And start interviewing home inspectors in that general area or people that you may know. Ask your friends at work. Interview them, see what type of work they produce. Build that relationship with those folks. So when it comes time to go ahead and start moving on the home that you're planning to purchase, you'll know that person, and then you can go ahead and do that. It also helps you weed out maybe people that you maybe didn't want to work with. If they won't spend the time with you to talk about a future purchase, are they really the right people to choose for when you purchase a home? So I would certainly recommend that, to sit down and do that. And definitely don't shop on price. There's a lot of pricing out there. Pricing is based on the way certain people do business, and pricing isn't always the best way to go. Always look at what services that person is going to provide and what kind of service you can expect from them.
Do you think there's typically a wide variation in pricing, though?
Absolutely, there is. There's a very wide, and actually anything that's out there, we all hear of the dollar store or Target or Walmart, and then there's other stores. So there's a very wide price, and there's also a different levels of quality and service you get from that. So you may hire a low price home inspector that would be there for maybe an hour, as opposed to someone that's a little more thorough and spends more time there.
Okay, great. Thank you. You've provided a lot of good information today, Bob. I'm Lisa Gray, Executive Director with the Simsbury Chamber of Commerce. This has been Chamber Chat with Bob Kulakowski, owner of Cedar Hill Home Inspections. Thank you for joining us today.
Funding for Simsbury Community Television is provided in part by contributions from viewers like you. Thank you.